Andy, thank you for joining us. What brings you to ESA 2016?
Well, we're a sponsor this year, and we're very supportive of ESA. We have someone on the board, and wanted to show support for them and tell the rest of the conference really that RES is here and we're doing projects worldwide.
What projects do you have in energy storage?
We have a number of frequency projects, and most companies do have frequency as their first in the portfolio, but we've done a number of different projects outside of PJM. So we're currently in 7 different ISOs and working with utilities as well as IPPs. So on the utility side, we're actually working with Puget Sound Energy and a couple of others that I can't name at the moment, but they have probably 15 different grid services that those projects are performing.
Where are you seeing the most exciting developments?
We've tried to set a bedrock really first before we do any projects, and that is sort of bring in the investment community in. So we developed a number of projects that we could really flip to investors. So Sumitomo, Exelon and Prudential Capital have all come in and invested in our projects. And that's really just to get the investment community comfortable. I think the next phase of rollout is really jumping up to those bigger projects, maybe 4-hour projects, 1-hour projects in merchant markets, and potentially coupled with some grid services on the wires side.
And what will bring those about?
You know, it's really a revenue requirement. How many dollars per year can you get in each of these markets? And what I'm seeing is, obviously storage is dropping, but we're making savings in the balance of systems and things like that. Now, RES is an integrator, so we do software, but we're more than just an integrator. We do from development all the way through operations. So we can compress across that value chain and show that storage can really meet those revenue requirements.
What are the barriers to entry?
Barriers to entry, I think it probably market rules at the moment and having some good data scientists. You really need to understand co-optimization of revenues. You need to understand how wind and solar come into things, how energy markets move. And in each different ISO, what are the services available? Day ahead versus real time is very, very complex. So understanding that's the key.
What excites you?
Well, I've been 20 plus years in wind energy, and that was exciting and challenging at the beginning. But as we've gone forward in time, it became commoditized and everyone's kind of doing it. And so it's really just a new challenge and actually an n-dimensional challenge. I mean, it's very complicated on so many levels. As I talked about the market rules, but different storage has different storage chemistries have different properties and degrade differently over time. They have different lifetimes. So there is no one size fits all. You have to link the economic model to the technical model implicitly in order to figure out what is the optimum solution for the customer.
There are some intriguing technologies coming into the market. Are you just looking at battery technology, or are you looking further afield?
Well, lithium's certainly dominated, and anything less than a 4 to 6 hour system is certainly lithium, at least for the next probably 5 years. 6 to 8 hour plus systems, there are some interesting things. Flow batteries have been around for a long time. I think they will get there for those longer duration systems, but then there are some game changers out there, potential game changers. I'm not going to name names, but it's an exciting space for sure.
Is energy storage where wind was perhaps 20 years ago?
I'm trying to think back 20 years ago. Yeah, probably. They're fairly small systems. Wind, when I started, were 100 kilowatt machines, and now we're 3 megawatt machines. So we're deploying small systems first. There's a lot of lessons learned going on. And I think another thing is really, a lot of these manufacturers have good data, but those data are only for one cell tested on a bench somewhere. And what we haven't seen are systems tested, long strings of cells tested in a real world environment where you've got differential heating on different sides of a container and things like that. So I'm sure there'll be more lessons learned as we go on through time.
Where do you think the largest area of development is going to be in terms of its application?
Well, I think this notion of thermal power plant is certainly obviously one to watch, and we are and trying to understand it. So replacement of natural gas peakers, which use water. There's air permit rules in certain locations. So that's an exciting substitute there. But I also think on the transmission side and helping transmission companies produce more cost-efficient solutions, or even replacement of traditional transmission, maybe not in the near term, but over the long term, the storage costs, and we get some of those game changers we talked about. I think that may occur. So those two, I would say, are the big markets: transmission and just merchant services from a thermal plant.
Are there any big takeaways from the event?
Just a sense of maturity, I think, coming about now. I saw the same thing happen in the wind industry.
What does the future hold?
We want to be the number one integrator in the space, and we're very flexible. Our business model is very flexible, so we're equally happy to own versus sell and asset manage for a partner as well if they want to own the project. But 5 years from now, I would hope that the industry has grown at least tenfold, and I think the way we're going, it's certainly possible.
Andy, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.